Well, greetings, visitors to the paper prison. Great to see you come back here as we continue our walk down memory lane as we look at my collection of Xeroxes of pencils by so many wonderful artists, mostly around the mid 90s, others earlier. Um, so let's get started, right? So we're going to take a little break from the Superman office again, which will return next week, and we're going to look at a job that I worked on with Art Nichols for What If number 60. I was Art's background inker at the time, and I was making his Xeroxes, and that's how part of this collection had occurred. Now this is going to be a shortish video because I've only got 2 pages here. Ironically, it's 2 pages I didn't work on, but it's my favorite 2 pages in the whole story. Now, going along with my arbitrary rules of this game that I've come up with, I'm not quite certain who did this, and I'm not looking it up. I'm supposed to only be going by memory. That's the rules of the game. My memory is this was done by Ron Randall, but I can't be 100% sure. But this is, I love these 2 pages because the story, I think, was basically a what if Wolverine never was part of the X-Men. And because of that one detail, the X-Men do not survive their encounter with Krakoa, which I think is ridiculous. He ended up being only one of 13 mutants. That shouldn't have been that big a deal. Um, and the ultimate destruction of Krakoa didn't even involve him. It involved a team up between Polaris and Cyclops, I believe, and Storm maybe, but not Wolverine. He was not the one that ultimately defeated Krakoa. So anyway, it's so the story starts off in that era, and boy, apparently, so Krakoa vanquishes the X-Men, and he makes his way, probably on his way to America. As we see in this first huge panel, we have Sunfire. So at first, I thought the Avengers were encountering Krakoa in Japan, but I see a palm tree in the background, so I think maybe it's really Hawaii. Anyway, this is quite possibly my favorite lineup of Avengers, even if it doesn't have Captain America in it. That mid 70s time, right after the Beast joined, I didn't realize it's running concurrently with the birth of the all new, all different X Men in Giant Size X Men #1. But boy, I love this. Without Cap there, it actually elevates characters like Thor and Iron Man and the Vision. So let's take a look at this thing. Like I said, what's probably happened at this point, ridiculously, the X-Men have been vanquished by Krakoa. He's making his way to America. Both Sunfire and the Avengers team up to intercept him. And if I'm right, and this is Ron Randall, I really loved Ron Randall. I think the drawing in here is really great. However, it is also symptomatic of what was going on at Marvel at the time, which was Jim Lee was the fair-haired kid, and if you wanted a chance at working at Marvel, you had to do some kind of Jim Lee impersonation. And what I'm seeing here is what I saw on a lot of artists. It always looks like the artist first draws in his or her style, and then they go back and put a veneer of Jim Lee cross-hatching over it. And the two almost always compete with each other. They conflict, they collide. Also, so let's also look at the bottom tier of this page. And I gotta tell you, I love the drawing in this, but you might say, why are the girls kind of drawn a little wonky? What is his anatomy really not that great? No, it's another symptom of the mid 90s in that women have to all be Maxim models. I mean, look at this. In both Moondragon and the Scarlet Witch are basically wearing butt floss, which is totally inappropriate from going into battle, totally inappropriate from just dealing with your male co-workers. But that's where we were. We were competing with Image, and we had to have all the stuff that would or as the British would call them, the lad books that would appeal to the readers of the lad books like Maxim and God, what was the other one? There's two. Anyway, I'm sure someone who watches this will tell me in the comments. So the girls always have to be in these quasi sexualized. Oh, but anyway, be that as it may, the underdrawing's great. I love Sunfire's classic mid 70s look, which has started in the 60s. Iron Man's nose on his mask. Thor looks great, and he's going to look even better in the next page. Can't wait to get to that. The backgrounds are great. The buildings. Again, I don't know why I didn't ink the backgrounds on this. Maybe because they were just sparse enough that Art probably thought, oh, I can do this and save the money. Uh, I love that bottom tier panel. You know, Iron Man's hand foreshortened in the foreground, blasting away with his repulsor rays. Um, it's it's just so funny. I really love this era of the Avengers, and wishing that they actually did team up with that 1970s Cockrum X-Men, even though they have a mutant or two on there with the Beast and Scarlet Witch. Um, I want to go into the figure drawing here, except we'll come back to that veneer of, we would just come back to that veneer of Jim Lee rendering on top of it, which gives us, and maybe he's not the, you know what, I was about to like look for something wrong to say, but I'm not, because what's good here is so much outweighs any weaknesses. So let's go to the next page. Again, wonderfully shot, but man, the I don't know if the editor asked, make sure the Scarlet Witch puts her butt in your face in that first panel. And here she is clearly not wearing the butt floss. She's got her normal, one piece she's wearing. Again, all right, so let's go to the middle page. This I really love because look at Thor's face. That is a wonderful drawing of a face. That's a great drawing of a face. Yes, it's got, and then, I'm just going to just stop there. It's a great drawing of a face. I love Sunfire's figure in the background, shooting his blast at Krakoa, and Iron Man, lending a hand there as well. So much going on here. Again, it just makes me wish for a 1970s Avengers X-Men team up, not Avengers versus X-Men. So we go back down to the next to last panel, and Moondragon is probably saying something like, "Your brute force is no match for my mental powers," and she like kind of blows up Krakoa's brain, I think, makes him have like a hemorrhage or something. So that's cool. Unfortunately, these are the only two pages I have from this job, but in the next page, which I remember very clearly, uh, when they blast open Krakoa, we find all the bodies of the all new and all different X-Men, all dozen of them. Start off with a baker's dozen with Wolverine, but apparently since he's not there, they all got killed. So again, gosh darn it, I really want to ink these now. I really think they're really great. I love his drawing not only of the Avengers, but of Krakoa. This is great. Um, and like I said, I'm playing the game of only going by memory, no research. So I'm going to say this was Ron Randall. It's the name I remember. Hope someone out there will go look up What If number 60 and they can tell me who did draw this. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm not. God, I love this lineup of Avengers, and I love this artist, what he did with it. And maybe Kurt Busiek will go back and make a 1970s X-Men team up with 1970s Avengers. Well, I guess we're done now. Feel free to look at these over and over again. Since we do have a little time left, I just want to say I've been thinking about doing some more with this channel. What do you fellows think about me expanding the topics we discuss into things like movies and video games, animation, animated features, or just stick with the comics? It's cool. It's up to you. Well, God, I wish I had Xerox more of these. I really love this. Thing is, I inked quite a bit of this in the latter half of the book, backgrounds, and I didn't even make Xeroxes of that. All right. Well, okay, so next week we go back to my last samples that I got from the Superman office with artist John Bogdanov. I think it's going to be great. And I look forward to seeing you all again. Last time we talked, it was Thanksgiving. This time we're looking down the barrel of Christmas. I hope everyone is doing well and that they can get along with family and enjoy the holidays. I hope there's a detente. Even under the best of times, there seems to always be a little family collision. Maybe y'all should sit down and read some comics, especially from this era. All right, until next time, take care and bye bye.